online mentoring, and today ang pag-uusapan natin is about haters. Yes, you heard it right. Haters gonna hate, catchphrase. Narinig nyo na ba to? But I say they will change. According to our inspired story about Joseph, haters gonna change. Did you know that haters have been around for a long time? Jesus had plenty of haters, and the Bible gives clear instructions on how to handle them. So ito po yung ating pag-uusapan. How are we going to deal with haters according to the Word of God? In Genesis chapter 37 verses 4 and 8, the brothers of Joseph hated him so much. Ang sabi ng salita ng Diyos, when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than any of them, they hated him and could not speak a kind word to him. And in verse 8, his brothers said to him, "Do you intend to reign over us? Will you actually rule us?" And they hated him all the more because of his dream and what he had said. So the Hebrew means to hate someone. It refers to a strong emotion that does not want to have anything to do with another person. So ito po yung nangyari po sa mga kapatid ni Joseph. They hated him so much, and in verse 20 of chapter 37, they wanted to murder him. So how are we going to deal with haters according to the principles of the Word of God? Number 1 na nakita ko po is we need to stand firm. Yes, everyone experiences hate and bitterness at some point in our lives, whether it's from friends, family, co-workers, or to anybody. It happens even to the best of us. So I say, stand firm. Don't let the haters bring you down. As Christians, we are called to live in ways that many won't understand. Even Jesus warned us that we would be hated. But He tells us to stand firm and do nothing. This is written in Luke chapter 21, verses 17 to 19 in the NIV version. Everyone will hate you because of me, but not a hair of your head will perish. Stand firm and you will win life. Yes. Verse 19 even goes as far as saying that we will win life. As hard as it may be, stand firm now to win later. Just like what Joseph did. And number 2, we need to respond positively. Ang sabi po ng Genesis chapter 50 verse 20 in the NIV version, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Nakita po natin, Joseph, he stood firm, and then he did not allow the hatred of his brothers bring him down, but he responded positively. Imagine, nasabi niya, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." So don't allow the words of your haters fuel you to anger or like kryptonite. Alam niyo po ba yung kryptonite? Although it is a fictional substance na ginamit po sa Superman comic to weaken Superman, but don't let the words of your haters be like a kryptonite na iwi-weaken nila kayo. But you have to respond positively, just like Joseph. Joseph reassured them of his love and forgiveness, and they were not to be afraid that he would do anything to hurt or harm them. He knew that God had divinely planned and allowed him to suffer, but it was for his good and the good of his family. And number 3, treat them with kindness. When we say treat them with kindness, you need to bless and do not curse. Be willing to forgive. Yes, it's true. It's so easy to want to fight back or say the perfect comeback when someone disrespects us or our beliefs, but nothing good comes from payback. The Bible is very clear that we will obtain blessings after we bless those that hurt us. Actually, it is written in 1 Peter, verse 3:9 in the Amplified Version. The Word of God declares, "And never return evil for evil or insult for insult," meaning avoid scolding, berating, and any kind of abuse, but on the contrary, give a blessing. Pray for one another's well-being, contentment, and protection. For you have been called for this very purpose, that you might inherit a blessing from God that brings well-being, happiness, and protection. And lastly, number 4, don't hold a grudge. Yes, don't hold a grudge, because holding a grudge can be harmful to your physical and mental health. It can trigger violent and aggressive behaviors and has been associated, according to medical science and according to studies as well, it is associated with several mental health conditions such as anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, personality disorders, panic disorder, and phobias. Just like Joseph, let us not hold a grudge. Instead, bless them, forgive them, those people who hates you or who hates us. In Genesis chapter 50, it is clearly written in verses 19 to 21, "But Joseph said to them, 'Do not be afraid, for I am in the place of God. Vengeance is his, not mine. As for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good in order to bring about this present outcome, that many people would be kept alive as they are this day. So now do not be afraid. I will provide for you and support you and your little ones.' So he comforted them, giving them encouragement and hope, and spoke with kindness to their hearts." So Joseph did not maintain a feeling of anger, bitterness, or resentment towards his brothers or his haters. So, in the same manner, let us imitate what Joseph did. Haters gonna change. They will change because it is very clear according to our story that Joseph's brothers have changed. Yes, what God had planned would be fulfilled. In fact, God knew that they would hate him when the dream became known. Their hate actually accomplished God's will. Pray for those haters that they will change, just like what happened to Joseph's brothers. I hope you guys have learned sa ating pong short mentoring. God bless you. Until our next mentoring.